people are saying this trilogy end will determine who is the greatest heavyweight of all time. We are Follow the Money. At least right now we are. We're not sure if that name's going to stick. There's another Follow the Money out there, and we're trading emails back and forth. We may have a new name by next week. So if we do, we're still the same old people. And the same old people, we are the fastest growing podcast in the freaking world right now. Over 50 countries have downloaded the podcast, all 50 states. We are absolutely killing it because we have the very best in the business. And it starts right away with Fighting out of Philadelphia. 64.8% last year in the NFL. He has been killing it this year. We won a huge soccer game today. Never bet on soccer before, but we're winning because we're firing. He is the Philly Godfather. He is Steve Maltepes. Philly Godfather, how you doing tonight?
Man, out here on the Ponderosa with Hoss and and the Cartwright family. We got the alpacas, the German shepherds, and we're about to start unloading on some UFC as soon as Joey gives out his selections.
That's right. Man lives in a zoo. I'm telling you.
The animals, baby. The animals.
The animals. And let's go straight to one of the animals. He goes by a bunch of names. We just call him the ATM because he cashes when we fire. He is Mr. Joey Odessa. Bagel time. Joey Bagels. Joey Delicious in some circles. But he is our man, the best combat sports handicapper in the world. Joey, you ready for this big fight tonight?
Hey, what's up, JBL? Who's got their volume up?
Real quick. Somebody on Twitter says somebody's got volume up. They need to shut it down. Who's got it up?
Let me see what's going on.
Sound up. They're saying on Twitter too. I think it's down low now. I don't know. All right. I can hear it now. I can hear it. This is what's beautiful about live TV, JBL. I think we're good. I think we're good now.
I think we're good. That person speaking to you is good. Nope. 2 words. Coach rules. He's the voice of PGA of America, the PGA. He is Jonathan Coachman, my pal. How you doing, Coach?
You know, I was so fired up for UFC 252 that I talked to God, and I got him to change the weather. They had to tee off early this morning, so the tournament was done. I did that, and so I could be here live with you guys right now. That's how stoked I am for tonight's pay-per-view.
Hey, we got to end. Well, we found out last week that in the Vatican Softball League, they're big fans of this show.
Yes,
Joey Odessa told us that. Huge fans.
Man.
And he's called the future of sports betting. He's one of the college kids. He is Matt. Matt, how you doing tonight?
Good. Ready to go through the UFC card.
I am as well, and we got our man. He is a male model. We don't know for sure what he looks like. We just know he's a supermodel. We found out a couple weeks ago through our social media. He is Mr. Dave Mason from Bet Online, one of the best sports books in the world. Dave, you ready for this card?
Oh, man, I'm excited. I've been looking forward to this one in a while. It's a great card, good betting card, so good action coming in, and we're ready.
Let's go.
Well, Let's get started. The first fight is a featherweight fight. Kai Kamaka versus Tony Kelly. Kai Kamaka is 7-2. He's the fighting Hawaiian. He's 0-1 as far as knockouts, 1-0 as far as submissions. Fighting Tony Kelly, who is the dog in this, 6-1, 2-0 as far as knockouts, TKOs, 3-0, and submissions, stoppages. He's never been stopped himself. The over-under stands at 2.5. Dave, where is the money in this?
It's pretty choppy. 54% of the action's on Kamaka. 77% is on under 2.5. There is some sharp action on Kamaka. This number has moved. We opened him about minus 185, dipped down a little bit. Sharps hit him at about minus 180 or better, and he's up to minus 219.
And Joy, will you have a take on this fight?
No, but the Hawaiian kid, I think the Hawaiian kid's going to win, but I didn't bet this fight. I don't know too much about this Tony Kelly. It's a pass for me. Nothing on it, but I think that this Kamaka kid. You said who does the book need there, Dave?
We need Kelly for a small bit. It's not a huge decision by any means, but Kamaka would be a loser for us.
Dave, is there any action on the total?
That Kamaka, but no.
Yeah. I mean, the majority action's on the under, but it's not a whole lot of volume on these early fights on the total. 77% of that was on the under 2.5. But like I said, it's not too much of a decision either way.
Okay.
And Coach, since you arranged for a late tea time for tomorrow, since you have this pathway directly to God, what do you see as far as what do you and God think about this fight?
Well, I this one I didn't have anything on because I started from the top down this time instead of the bottom up. And this one I don't even care about it because there's so many others I want to fire on. Talk about.
And Matt, do you have anything on this fight?
I'm really serious.
What are you laughing at, Coach?
I just thought he was messing with you.
Yeah.
Sorry, man. Go ahead.
No, I just leaned it over. Not serious. I didn't make a move on this one.
And we'll go. The next fight is the first of one of three heavyweight fights. Chris Daukaus is the dog in this one, giving up 23 pounds to Parker Porter. Parker Porter weighed in at 264. Porter is 10-5, 4-2 on KOs, 4-2 also in submissions. Daukaus is 8-3, 7-2 as far as knockouts, TKOs, 0-1 on submissions. The over/under is 1.5, and it's pretty much split evenly as far as the odds. Dave, where do you have the money?
55% of the action's on Porter, but it's Daukaus is getting got some sharp money plus money. I mean, two big boys. It's one of those fights. Whoever lands first can win. I think you take the plus money. And that's what the sharps took here. Daukaus at plus money. He's actually now the favorite. We have him the slight minus 115 favorite, whereas Porter is now minus 105. 67% of the action is on the under 1.5, and it's easy to see why these guys never go to decision. So two big boys are just going to throw, and whoever lands first is going to go down, I think. So, yep, there you go. And
Joey, who do you got landing first here?
Couple slobs, man. I got no interest in the fight. I'm not going to bet these guys. I win a bodybuilding contest against these guys, and I'm like 30 years out, so no.
Are you a male model as well, like Dave Mason?
Used to be. Joey Delicious.
Hell yeah. Here's the thing. This is either going to end in the first 2 minutes or it's going to go 15 minutes and we can all go and fix our sandwiches because, like Dave said, these are two guys that are way past when you should be debuting in the UFC, and I'm telling you what, either they're going to knock each other out. I would love to see like a double knockout.
Same time.
Do those, that'd be awesome.
And this
Billy
Porter,
Godfather, you got anything on this fight between what Joey calls two slobs?
Gun to my head, if I had to pick someone, I'd pick Daukaus. I think he's like 15 to 20 pounds lighter. He's a little bit more busier. He's got 8 wins in his career, 7 by stoppage, while Porter's got 9 wins and only 4 by stoppage. So I think he's the heavier-handed individual in this fight. Gun to my head, I'd pick Daukaus.
From Philly, too. I mean,
he's a Philly guy.
Yeah, he can box a little bit. Anyone coming out of Philly, I mean, I'm just telling you guys, there's a gym on every corner. You start boxing, everyone starts boxing at the age of 8. That includes girls. Everyone can fight in Philly. So when you come to Philly, any fighter coming out of Philly, they can definitely box. Now, the conditioning level is a different story, but they can definitely fight a little bit.
Yeah, you talk about the weight difference. You're right. It's 241 pounds for Daukaus, 264. So giving up 23 pounds to Porter. The next fight on the card is a strawweight fight, the first women's fight on the card. Ashley Yoder is the dog in this fight against Lavina Souza. Lavina Souza is 13-2. She has 2-0 on knockouts, TKOs, 8-0 on submissions. She's never been stopped herself. She is the former Invicta champion, fighting Ashley Yoder, who's, as I said, was the dog, 7-5 as southpaw. No knockouts to her credit and has not been knocked out herself. 4-0 as far as submissions. She has lost 5 fights. The over-under stands at 2.5, and it is a huge bet here that looks like minus 350, at least earlier this afternoon, for the fight to go over, almost over 3.5 to 1 to bet that. Dave, where do you have the money?
Under 2.5, nothing sharp, and about it's about 50-50 on the each fighter as far as the bettors are on, but not a big decision either way for us. And again, no sharp action with us here at Bet Online.
And you say on the over/under, you had more on the under was.
Yeah, under's like 80%. Yeah, and under's 80%, but again, not a ton of volume, so it's not like it's not a big sweat for us either way.
Bet under is paying, at least when I saw it earlier, Joey, plus 290. Do you have anything on the over under or anything on either one of those two women's strawweight fighters?
No, but I bet Yoder. The Quest girl. Both these girls coming off a loss, and I think the Yoder. I mean, I don't know if Yoder doesn't shut down early. I think she could grind out a split decision here. Close decision. These fights are always close. This Souza's tough. She just made a video out there. I don't know. I thought it was pretty cool. But she's like calling herself a gangster. Everybody wants to be a gangster until they get locked up.
Yeah,
right?
until they start giving out those big sentences and those letters,
Until you got to do what gangsters do, right?
Yeah.
I bet Yoder. I took plus $1.40 with Yoder there.
I don't think these gangsters know what 23-hour lockdown is, what controlled movement is. It's nothing they ever dreamed of. So all that gangster stuff, forget about it. Yeah.
You know, me and JBL represent the amateur as far as gambling is concerned on this show, and I'm learning as we do these shows that when Joey says split decision, this is a fight I don't want to touch. If it's going to be that close, and I've got to sweat it out and wait for a text from Joey, either telling us we've been good or that it's over after the first round. So I'm staying away from this one.
And Philly Godfather, are you touching any of the bets on this?
I just have such a hard time picking these women's fights. I always end up on the wrong side. You never know how they're going to. I mean, women are a little different than we are, chemically made up, scientifically made up. So to me, the women fights are the hardest to pick. Gun to my head, I'd probably take Souza. She's got 6 more wins in her career. Yoder is coming off a loss to Marcos. Souza's the busier fighter. But like Joey, I don't know, man. This fight's a coin flip. Usually, if it's a coin flip, you're going to take the dog. But I just don't like the fact that Yoder's got 5 losses in her career. I guess Souza. I would take Souza if I had to, but I'm not betting the fight. I'm not betting.
Yeah, and Joey, you said that it was going to be a close fight, but you did bet Yoder, right?
I bet Yoder. I think she'll grind it out, get a decision here.
What price you get, Joey?
$1.40 I took.
There you go.
How's that looking compared to what it is now?
What's the market now, Dave?
$1.43. So right there.
Right
No,
there.
they're opposite me on a lot of these fights, and that's a good thing, especially these pay-per-views. I don't know. I live and die with the underdog tonight. I guess that's what my ticket's looking like anyway. Hey JBL, well we got a second here. Can you clear up this guy? Can you clear up for Daytona whether the Montreal screw job was a real screw job? I know it's not betting related, but I got this guy from Canada.
Inquiring minds want to know, JBL.
He's asking me, and he tunes into the show. His name is Jay. I call him Daytona because he could be one of my siblings. His mother was at spring break back in the 90s. Never know.
I was down there. Bike Week was always down there when we were down there. All the bikers used to come down, wake us up. Like, we'd be out all night in Daytona, and they'd starting their bikes up like 7:30 in the morning. We'd be like, what the hell? We got in a couple brawls that year. But, yeah, we were down there too, Joe.
Yeah, those were nutty days. They were great. I love spring break was the fun. I feel bad for kids now. They can't go out. Nothing. But anyway, Montreal screw job. I'm getting off topic here.
100% legit. I was there. It was a Survivor Series. I was about to go to Japan to finish up a contractual obligation to go to the tag team tournament with Barry Windham. So I had like 5 weeks. I was about to leave. So I did the pay-per-view, and I think I was on the pay-per-view that day. And then the next day was Monday Night Raw. Brett and Sean absolutely hated each other. They got in a fight backstage at least on one occasion, maybe on a couple different occasions. Brett did not want to lose to Sean, and especially did not want to lose to Sean in Canada. The Undertaker showed up. He wasn't on the card. I think, and I've never asked him this, I think he showed up in case Brett wouldn't wrestle Sean at all. I think Undertaker was going to wrestle Brett in case the whole thing just fell apart. But yeah, 100% legit. When they got him in the sharpshooter. Tell you an interesting story. Earl Hebner was the referee, and I asked him right before the match. I said, "Hey, Earl, anything we should know about?" Because there's been some pretty good screw jobs in history. Stanislaus Zabisco, 1927, screwed Toots Mond's guy, Wayne Money, is a football player, one of the most famous of all time. So did Bruno Sammartino, Buddy Rogers, 1963. Great story. But Earl said, no, nothing, no big deal, nothing's going to happen. Anyway, right before the match, Earl comes and gets his bags and puts them in the car. Earl said later that he'd found out right at that point that he was going to be the one that initiated the screw job, and he wanted to get the hell out of Dodge as quick as he could. So, and we didn't know it. He's just no big deal. Earl was putting his bags in his car, but yeah, 100% legit. And Brett got Vince with a pretty good punch backstage. I didn't see it, but apparently he dropped him. Vince said, "I'm going to give him one shot." Vince walked in there, hands down. Brett said, "If you come back, I'm going to knock you out." And Brett got him with a pretty good shot. Dropped him right there backstage. So, yeah, 100% legit.
One more shot than I would have gave him. If I was Vince, I'd have just under the desk. What? What? I'm not Vince, so.
That's true. That's true. I love that story.
Yep. So the Montreal screw job was legit. So was Wayne Munn getting screwed by Stanislaus Sabisco, which I guarantee y'all never thought you'd hear those words today. Stanislaus Sabisco, Toots-Mont of the Gold Dust Trio, 1927.
Was he related to Larry Zabisco?
Yeah.
No, they had a bunch of guys use the same name, Zabisco. I don't think there was any relation.
I saw Bruno and Larry Zabisco wrestle in the steel cage at Showdown at Shea when I was like 10 years old. And the Wild Samoans lost the tag team championship to fucking Pedro Morales and Bob Backlund. And I cried.
Wow.
It was real to me.
Joe, you know who else is crying right now? Everybody watching at home saying, "I want my pick for the pay-per-view."
I know.
Let's get moving. Let's get moving.
Let's go.
Rather they cry now than after.
Bill deGrasse Tyson just came out and said that the universe is constantly expanding, so there is no center of the universe. So, Coach, you're wrong. The universe does not revolve around your ass. So
I didn't say. I said around the fans. It's all about the fans.
I'm joking, Coach. I'm joking.
Coach has got a featherweight fight. Right?
Next fight is a featherweight fight. T.J. Brown, fighter who missed weight coming in, fights both sides, conventional and southpaw. 14-7, 4-3 as far as KOs, TKOs, 9-3 on submissions. Fighting Danny Chavez, 10-3, 3-0 on KOs, knockouts. But his last three fights have all been KOs. 0-1 on submissions. Over understands at 2.5. Dave, where do you have the money?
Chavez taking about 56% of the money, so we'll need Brown there, and 78% is on the under. Once again, the under's getting bet 78% under 2.5.
And Joey, you got something on this fight?
Yeah, I hope nobody goes and tweets it, but I heard from a really, really reliable source, and I didn't bet T.J. Brown. I didn't bet this fight because sometimes when you hear these injury things, they're not so, they're not always accurate, but I could say with certainty that this Chavez tweaked his ankle pretty bad. But I'm seeing money come on Chavez, and I know this guy wouldn't put me on the wrong side. You know what I mean? I'm not saying T.J. Brown is the right side here, but I know for certain 2 days ago that Chavez screwed up his ankle. There was something, he was iced, and there was something wrong with his ankle. And how that'll translate into the fight, I don't know. This T.J. Brown puts himself in real bad positions sometimes. But again, unequivocally, guarantee, this source was a solid source. He had no reason to bullshit me.
Why are you worried about tweeting? We're on Facebook, YouTube, we're Twitch.
We're tweeting right now.
I got you, Joe. Joe, don't worry about it. I got you.
We ain't telling nobody. Don't worry about it.
All right,
we're going to keep it a secret right here.
Yeah.
The secret. This is our club. This is our thing. This is Omerta. I gave all right. You want to know who told me?
No.
I know. No, but I heard Chavez tweaked his ankle. So I think
And did you bet on this fight? And Joey, did you bet on the fight?
I didn't bet it, but I'm sitting here. I'm trying so hard not to bet Brown because if I bet Brown I wasn't going to bet it, but when I heard about the ankle, I was like, man, I got to pull the trigger. But I'm kind of, if I bet Brown and he goes out there and flaps and this kid wins with a fucked up ankle, I'm going to be so. I just can't take it. I can't take it. I wouldn't be able to handle it. But,
everything screams Chavez, and without that inside information right there, I would have fired on Chavez too because the training partners he has are legit. The team that's around him is legit, and like you said, T.J. Brown puts himself in horrible positions. Everything screams Chavez, but it's hard to fight with a bad ankle.
Yeah, he can punch a little bit though. Chavez can punch a little bit, and I mean, listen, it depends how bad he tweaked it. If it was real bad, he wouldn't be fighting. I've played with a bad ankle. I played basketball. I've boxed with a bad ankle. Sometimes you can't push off, but once you get that adrenaline going, I mean, that pain goes away, and then you start moving and grooving. So unless he gets caught early, I think the dog's live here. Plus 120, plus 125. I think the dog's live.
So you like Chavez here, Philly Godfather?
I didn't bet it, but that's the way I'd be leaning.
And Matt, you're back. Welcome back. Hopefully this time we're able to keep you. Do you have a leaning on this fight?
I didn't have nothing on this fight. We do.
Yeah,
Your mic's bad, Matt. Your mic's bad.
Yeah, unfortunately, Matt, your connection is not good.
For hilarious issues, so.
Yeah. It's
Yep. Sorry, Matt. We're gonna we'll go to the next fight, and hopefully Matt will be able to fix the connection. Too bad, Coach. His connection is still good.
No wonder they want us to change the name of the show. We're making everybody look bad. Jesus.
I'm joking, Coach. I'm so damn happy you're here. And now that I know you have an insight into God, can change tea times, especially. Next fight is a strawweight fight. Felix Herrig is the dog here at I saw earlier plus 245. Fighting the Brazilian Berna Jandiroba, minus 290, at least what I saw earlier. She's 15-1. 12 of those wins have become by submission. She has no knockouts, has not been stopped herself. Felice Herrig is 14-8, 1-0 on KOs, TKOs, 4-0 on submissions. The over-under stands at 2.5. Dave, where do you have the money?
The public's on Herrig, UFC veteran, 71%. The bettors are on Herrig. It's probably our biggest early decision of all the early fights, and 95% are on the under 2.5. However, we've got sharp action on the other side, so it's a classic sharp versus public fight. Sharps took minus 240 or better on Jandiroba.
And Joey, are you with the public or are you with the sharps here on the action?
I'm with the public, man. I'm on the under. I didn't bet Herrig, but I think Herrig's never been stopped. But and this total's pretty low for a women's fight, especially against a girl that's never been stopped. Even though the other chick's got 12 submissions, the number looked like a trap to me. The over. I bet under in this fight. I think Jandiroba's going to sub her, take her down. She takes her down. I think she taps her. But guy in Vegas said earlier, I was talking to him on the show earlier in the week, and he said that they got some odd wagers on Jandiroba. Guys just coming in and just laying at 3-1 like it was already over with. So that could be a good indication that Jandiroba's probably the right side there, and the fact that Dave and those guys need Jandiroba, so the house usually does pretty well.
And you had the under. What price did you get, Joey? I saw earlier plus 195. Is that about what you got?
What did I take there? I took under plus 210.
Wow. Nice.
Wow.
180 right now.
Is this a perfect example of the public just looking at a name and knowing that she used to be decent in the UFC? Because she's lost 2 in a row. She had a torn ACL. She hasn't fought in 2 years. What would possess people to think that she's going to come out here and have a great showing against this person? I just don't get it. I don't get it.
Straight Wager. Straight Wager said that Herrig was subbed on the Ultimate Fighter. It's a guy, Greg from Canada, good guy. He knows what he's talking about. He had mentioned Herrig got subbed on the Ultimate Fighter. So I take it for what it's worth. I like under. I think she'll get subbed again. Go ahead. I'm sorry, Dave. I didn't mean to jump in there. I just read the chat.
No worries. No, Coach. I think that's what it is. Herrig's the bigger name, but 2 years off ACL, and she was always the gatekeeper. She made a nice run a few years ago. I think she rolled off 3 wins, and everybody thought she might get a title shot. Then she lost 2 in a row, and then tore the ACL. So. Bigger name, but not better fighter. So bigger name at plus, what is she now? 250, but like I said before, like every week, once you start getting that minus 300 to minus 400 range, the public's just taking that plus money, that they're just taking that plus money and with that mindset, oh, it's a fight, anything can happen. Yeah, well, anything can happen, but the odds still need to be right. So, like I've said a million times, times. We needed Floyd Mayweather versus Conor McGregor when Floyd Mayweather was 49-0 and Conor McGregor was 0-0. So, the public loves those dogs once you start getting that plus 250, plus 300 and on up range. 9 times out of 10, we're rooting for the chalk.
She's cute too, this Harry. I mean, if it was
She dyed her hair.
I didn't.
She has dark hair now. She's
Well, she better be cute because she's always the bridesmaid. She's never the bride. I mean, she
had a nice tan on her.
I mean, she just always
nice
she
tan
can't get there. So I'm on the favorite here. I laid 250 on the favorite. You got her opponent hasn't fought in a couple years, off an ACL. You got a big name. It's just a trap for the public right there, taking that plus money. You got to lay the favorite here.
Yeah,
Coach.
Yeah, I'm with everybody else. I don't know about the under because it seems like these women always go deep. But
bet the under, Coach. Bet the under.
I'm going to. I'm going to do whatever you tell me to do. I always do. But there's no way I would put a nickel on Harry. I don't care what. It could be a plus 1,000. I wouldn't touch her.
And one thing that's a very little known fact that Herrig also thinks that Joey's very cute. I saw that in the last press conference.
I think she's in our chat room right now. I think she's in the Twitch chat room right now.
Delicious was the word.
Delicious.
Delicious.
Exactly.
Well, her exact words were delicious and nutritious.
There you go.
Next fight is a lightweight fight. Mr. Jim Miller, a Southpaw American, 32-14, 46 fights. He's 4-2 as far as KOs, 18 submissions. He's also been submitted 3 times. Fighting Vince Pitchell. I think I said his name right. His nickname is From Hell. He's 12-2. He's 8-1 as far as KOs, TKOs. He's 0-1 on submissions. 2.5 is the over/under in this. Dave, where do you have the money?
Yeah, Jim Miller. Oh my God, it's a 36 UFC fight. I think that's the most out of any fighter. But he's been around forever. 50. The action is pretty split. 52% is on Miller, but you factor in juice and all that stuff, and we need Miller for a little bit. Over under split 50-50. There is some sharp action on Picho at minus 107. He's currently minus 125. So, we'll be rooting for another Jim Miller win. He hooked us up in June when he had that upset win over that prospect Roosevelt Roberts. So we'll be rooting for the old man again.
46 fights. Joey, are you going with the old man?
Yeah, I'm with the old man here. Listen, guys, just a tip. When a guy's nickname is From Hell and his first name is Pitchell, it's probably Pichel. Pichel From Hell. I don't know. Both of you. I'm just, I don't know. I could be wrong, but Pichel rhymes with hell.
Like you're the grammarian now.
It's one of those.
You're like a linguist now. What the hell?
I got you sharpened up with the abacus. Now I'm sharpening up your linguistics.
He's sharpening you up with that New York Costa Rican accent. He's cutting you right down the middle, JBL.
Okay, Pichel From Hell. Okay,
there you go.
All right,
there we go.
Thank you, Joy.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Right
there you go.
You're
we
welcome.
A poll question. That should be the name of our new show. You're welcome when you cash all these tickets. Now,
so, Joey, are you going with Pichel From Hell?
No, Miller and under. I got Jim Miller and under. I took Miller plus $1.20 and under plus $1.20. I think Miller'll sub this kid. I think Pichel's tough. Pichel could smash him. You know what I mean? But I think it's an underplay.
To me, it's about two things. Anybody that watched Jim Miller a month and a half ago, he was motivated. He says, I want to get back up there. His post-fight interview, that's all I needed to see. Plus, Pichel is, talk for me to read, 37 years old, and he's coming off hip surgery. The dude had hip surgery. Jim Miller is going to pound on him today. Again, the public's going to lose their money.
Billy Godfather, are you with Pichel From Hell?
No, I'm with Miller, man. He's got so much more experience, and he's actually the younger guy. And Coach stole a little bit of my thunder with the injury, the hip injury. But, yeah, I can't see Miller losing this fight.
It's rare that I can steal any of Godfather's thunder, so I'm actually flattered.
Doing great. You're doing great.
Thank you, baby.
You're welcome.
And Coach, you're welcome. Coach, you should be, because this is, by the way, your birthday week. So, Coach, happy birthday.
Oh, thank you very much. It's been great. It's been with the kids at the beach, nothing better.
Coach is over there
Awesome.
like sending Tiger an invite to his party. None of us, but Tiger, Coach K or whatever his name is.
Hey,
Next fight is a bantam. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Joy.
No. I was not going to say.
Next fight is a bantamweight fight. John Dodson, the dog here at plus 225, at least earlier today. I cannot pronounce the Georgian here, Marab, and who knows?
Give it a
famous
shot.
rugby player.
Just give it a shot.
Rhymes with Vanilli, Millie Vanilli.
Valishvili.
The Bishvili.
He
Vishvili.
was a great old rugby player, Gorgadze from Georgia. Tough guy. Just
Close
like,
enough.
Marab here.
Exactly the same, but totally different.
Exactly. So John Dodson is 22-11. He is 11-0 as far as KOs, TKOs, 2-0 as far as submissions. He's never been stopped himself. Marab, the big Georgian, is 11-4, 2-1 on KOs, TKOs, 1-0 on submission. The over/under stands at 2.5 with a huge price tag of minus 350 on the over. Dave, where do you have the money?
The money's pretty split up, 50-50. Factoring the juice and everything, we'll need Dodson. Sharp's on the other side, minus 240 or better. 81% is on under 2.5, which is, they're just taking that plus money because, like you said, I believe that Dodson's never been finished, and Marab is he's a kind of a decision fighter too. So they're just taking that plus money at plus 300 under 2.5. But yeah, once again, Sharp's on the chalk, minus 240 or better.
And Joey, do you have the big Georgian, as well?
No, I bet Dodson. I took plus two. Took plus 205 with Dodson. I think Dodson. I saw the early number of minus 180 on this Marab. So it looks like they're betting him pretty. Look like your ticket count, Dave. Do you have a high ticket count on the favorite there?
No, ticket count's on Dodson.
Really? Oh, that's not a good sign for me. But yeah, I think Dodson. I like Dodson here. I think Dodson can beat him. This kid's gonna come out and he's all about takedowns. The favorite, and I just think that Dodson is. I think with Dodson might be able to get a decision here. I wouldn't touch the total, but I like Dodson here plus the money.
Billy Godfather, you want to hop in front of Coach so he doesn't steal your notes?
That's all right. Dave, what's the price on the total? I kind of like the over.
What is the price? It's 2.5. Overs minus 375. Under plus 300. That's why everybody's on the under. They're just taking that plus number.
Yeah, because the Georgia doesn't submit anybody, and Dodson doesn't get submitted. Yeah,
never been stopped. Yeah,
the over's the right side. At that price, is a little high. I mean, you know what? But all the squares are betting the under. Is that what you're telling me?
That's most of the action. 81% of the action is on the under, and again, that just comes down to that plus 300. You have plus 300 on either side. They're going to take that, and it doesn't matter who's fighting and what the damn round is. If you have plus 300 on a total on either the over or the under, the public's going to be on that plus 300, no doubt.
You got to like the dog and over here. Dog and over. Dodson and over.
And birthday boy, what do you got?
That would be the only way I would go. This is one of those fights that you can almost see how it's going to play out. And when they keep taking Dodson down, and you're just like, oh my God, I bet on this. I bet on that. It's like 15 minutes of watching your money go out the window. But depending on, and I know Joey hates when I say this, but if we're successful early on in the night, then I would probably throw some money on Dodson.
Because you're playing with house money, right?
That's exactly right.
House money. You're playing with house money.
Yeah, that's the new name of the show, House Money, baby.
There you go.
See, I keep giving you all these great names. It drives Joey crazy. It's your money. It's not the house's money. You win, you put it in your pocket.
It's not even. Listen, you got to always remember, almost half of that is the government's money. You got to keep that in the back of your mind.
At least they spend it wisely.
There you go.
So, Coach,
there you go.
Did you have a bet on this, Coach?
Well, no, it would have been Dodson just because the other side is such a big favorite, but he's also he can't finish, and I'm not going to lay that much money on somebody that can't finish. I'm just not going to do it. So I would stay away if it was me, or go with Dodson and hope that he catches it once. But that's probably not going to happen.
Next fight is a featherweight fight. Herbert Burns, a Brazilian, 11-2. He is the favorite here at minus 260, or at least earlier today. That's what it was. He's 1-0 as far as KOs, TKOs, 8-0 submissions. He has never been stopped himself. fighting Daniel Pineda, 26-13, 8-2 as far as KOs, TKOs, 18-6 as far as submissions, and the over/under stands at 1.5 rounds, not 2.5, 1.5. Dave, where do you have the money?
Yeah, that 1.5 because they're two finishers. Both these guys are it's very rare for them to go to decisions. So 64%, the public's on Burns, Gilbert Burns' brother, Herbert. So public's on Herbert. We actually have a little bit of sharp action, not a ton, a little bit of sharp action on Pineda. The other side at plus 225 or better. Yeah, over under 55% is on over 1.5. That's paying minus 105 right now, so it's almost a coin flip. So yeah, House will need Pineda, Sharps will need Pineda at Bet Online at least.
Joey, Pineda has 26 wins, and every one of them have come by stoppage. 8 KOs, 18 submissions. Did you touch the over/under here or either fighter?
No, a lot of this Burns, him and his brother seem to be the, it's like you got these brothers, Diaz brothers and they used to be the Miller brothers. And I mean, there's good brother duos, and this seems to be the flavor of choice recently. Gilbert got sick and was out of that fight, but, I guess Burns looks like the right side here. Pineda fought in the PFL, and, the PFL is, I just think that's kind of like the minor league stuff there. And the last guy they brought over from the PFL that had any success over there got beat by Arlovsky. They lost like 8 of his last 10 fights or something. So, I mean, if I had to bet it, gun to my head, I'd bet Burns. But I didn't bet it, no. I think PG's got something here, though.
So the Godfather?
Oh, yeah, I bet Burns. I laid 250 on Burns. He's a rising star. His brother's a rising star. These guys live and breathe in the octagon. And all his victories have been dominating. So I can't see the older fighter here, Pineda, beating him. I just can't see him.
He missed weight, though. That's the only thing. I mean, he did come in overweight.
Yeah. How many pounds? It wasn't much, though. Right?
Oh, yeah. He weighed out 149.5, but it was probably calculated. Yeah. I don't think these guys very rarely do they step on the scale where they're sucking weight and they're that much over. He probably just said, screw it, I'll pay the 20%, go out there, tap the guy, and and just give up that extra win bonus.
Yeah, they're going to be pushing this kid. I like this kid. Dana White's guy.
Yeah, I mean, these guys are, when you talk about rising stars, and in the WWE, we call it giving somebody the push, and that's exactly what they're doing. Godfather just said it. 80 seconds was all it took him the last time to get the job done. And when you have a fighter that came, left, I just can't back that guy. So I would lay Burns here as well. I don't really care about the couple pounds that he was over. Normally I do. This time I do not.
I think the squares get this one right.
Next fight is another heavyweight matchup. I'm sorry, you had something, Joey?
No, I was agreeing. I think the chalk gets there on that fight.
Next fighter is a heavyweight matchup. Junior Dos Santos, 21-7, 15-5 as far as KOs, TKOs, 1-1 on submissions, weighed in at 238 pounds. Fighting Jairzinho Rozenstruik from Suriname. Got destroyed by Nagano in 20 seconds in his last fight. But Junior Dos Santos, 2 fights previous, had been knocked out in 1 minute 11 seconds by Nagano. Rozenstruik is 10-1. That one fight loss, of course, to Ngannou. He's 9-1 as far as KOs. There's been no submissions of him or to him. Over/under stands at 1.5, and then it's pretty much odds even here, minus 110. At least what I saw earlier. Dave, where do you have the money?
There's actually some sharp action on JDS. I don't see it at all. Plus 120. That's just a price, But Rozenstruik, I mean, God, like you said, he's been knocking out everybody not named Francis Ngannou. No shame there. And JDS, man, he's lost his chin big time over the years. Last 5 losses by TKO. But the public's on Rozenstruik. It's not a huge need as of now. 60% are on under 1.5, so we'll be needing the over as usual when one of these big boys fight.
And Dave, I was taking notes. So as you were talking, you said sharps were on Dos Santos.
Yeah, a little bit of sharp action. I don't really see it, but that's just hitting that plus 120. I think he's plus 110 as we speak right now. My screen just went down, but I believe we have him plus 110 as we speak. So, just a price right there. But I don't know, man. Rosenstrike hits him once, and I think it's a jaw splits in two. We'll see.
And Joey, do you have anything on the heavyweight fight?
I bet Dos Santos. I took
There
plus
you go.
$1.15. You know, this Rosenstruck. I mean, I bet Overeem against him, and Overeem won four rounds and four and a half minutes of round 5, and then he got stretched. And I just think that, you know, I think Dos Santos would have been quicker than Overeem. I think Overeem kind of laid out a blueprint for beating Rosenstruck. I mean, if it was a 3-round fight, Overeem would have won, but it wasn't a 3-round fight, obviously. So apples and oranges. But I think Dos Santos can get a win here.
He looked great. He looked great in that weigh-in too, man.
He did.
He's in great shape. I mean, he's lighter than he has ever been, I think.
Well, he's 17 pounds lighter than Rosenstruck, isn't he?
Yes.
He's forward, but
Yeah,
Right
Rosenstruck can
at
punch.
238 to 254.
Yeah, Rosenstruck can punch. That's what worries me. But Dos Santos has 3 times as many fights in his career. He's got the experience. I don't like betting on guys that keep getting knocked out. It's, you know, once you get chinny, you stay chinny. I'm not betting this fight. I mean, I just can't put no money on this fight.
I agree with Godfather. You know, Dos Santos is almost like a gatekeeper at this point for guys that are rising up into the ranks of being a top 10 fighter. And either side, you can see hitting and knocking him down. But Dos Santos, I don't think, has the knockout power that he used to have years ago when he was the heavyweight champion of the world. So I'm with Godfather. I think I'm just going to stay away from this one because I just don't know which way it's going to go.
Yeah, and Rosenstruck doesn't have to do much to win the fight. I mean, he can land one big blow. He can do very little. I mean, Dos Santos could be dominating the fight and then one big shot. That's the only thing that scares me about betting this fight.
oh, heavyweights in general, those guys.
Yeah,
you know.
but this guy, yeah. You're right, Joe. You're right.
Does it worry you, Joey, about Dos Santos being dropped a couple times?
Yeah, I mean, he's definitely gotten chinny, but, you know, again, that, you know, coming off that Ngannou loss, I mean, 20 seconds, Rosenstruck got knocked out by him, and you know, that's the first time that he got it on the button in MMA. He's got a kickbox. He won a lot of kickboxing fights, but I just think Dos Santos, you know, it pains me to say that. I think he'll like outbox him. I think he'll out technique him. You know, if Dos Santos took him down, it'd probably be an easy night. I don't know. These guys, sometimes I don't get the game plans, man. I mean, we'll talk about that when Cormier comes up in the main event, but, you know, it'd probably be an easy night if Dos Santos took him down, but
He never does, though. I mean, that's one thing with Dos Santos. He has a decent jiu-jitsu game for heavyweight. I mean, back when he fought like Mark Hunt, he took Mark Hunt down a few times, and you just rarely see him do that. I mean, if he's going to do it, tonight would be a great night to do it because I think he could do it pretty easily and ride out a victory. But we'll see. He usually just, you know, comes into the Rocky theme song, and he's a, you know, traditionally a great boxer, and I think it's some pride on the line there. He doesn't want to go to the mat. He wants to slug it out. But, man, start losing that chin. You might want to get the game going on the mat a little bit. But we'll see.
Next fight is a bantamweight fight, a showcase fight. Sean O'Malley with his hair colored the same as the Ecuadorian flag for tonight's fight because Marlon Vera is from Ecuador.
And we are
Sean
number
O'Malley
one. Wait. We are number one in Ecuador. Number one.
That's
sports
right, we
podcast.
are.
Yes,
Of course we are.
Yes, we are.
You have to do your hair next week with the Ecuadorian flag, too. One of you guys has to draw a scroll, so ain't going to be me.
Hey, man, if it works. We still don't know what Dave looks like other than being a
Yeah, I'll do it next week, but my camera's still not working, so.
Sean O'Malley is the big favorite here at minus 275, at least earlier today. He's 12-0, 8-0 as far as KOs, TKOs, 1-0 as far as submissions, fighting Marlon Vera, who a ring veteran, 15-6-1. He is 5-0 on KOs, TKOs, 8-0 on submissions. He has never been stopped himself. The over-under stands at 2.5. Dave, where do you have the money?
Nothing sharp. And no, we don't really have a need either way. That the action's pretty split here at Bet Online. So, you know, 54% of the action's on Vera, 51% on under 1.5. So, factoring in juice and everything, it's a win-win each side. So, I'm looking forward to this fight. This should be fireworks. This O'Malley's he's a lot of fun to watch. So, but Vera's a game opponent. So. Could be see if he takes the next step up or hype train derail. We'll see.
Joey, does Sean O'Malley stay undefeated?
I'm out Chito Vera here, man. I just, wait for them to match O'Malley up with a wrestler, a wrestler that could keep his hands up coming in. But, Sean O'Malley, 12-0, and you're laying, how do you go lay? You can't lay these minus 300s. I get it. You know what I mean? You can lay minus 800, minus 10,000 if they win. But, I'm with Vera here. I bet Vera. I took plus 250. They're betting O'Malley, I believe, and there's probably not a parlay that doesn't have O'Malley in it. Would that be right, Dave?
Yeah, I mean, it definitely he and Burns a huge parlay fights without a doubt.
Well, I could not disagree more with Joey. I mean, there's certain fighters that come along that have that it factor. Conor McGregor had the it factor, and he got to a point where it really didn't matter if he won or lost. People were going to tune in. Sean O'Malley, to me, is in that same stratosphere as a Conor McGregor. He's got the swag. He's got the confidence. He has the arrogance. He has the powerful hands. I just see him not being stopped for the next until he gets to the very top of this division and then go up to 145 and then possibly go up to 155. I think he puts on an absolute show tonight and gets a stoppage. I would bet on a – no,
did you bet, Coach?
Knockout. No, yeah, I'm going to bet a knockout or a TKO is what I'm going to bet.
You can bet that with me, Coach, if you want. I'm on the other side. I like Vera.
Okay.
This way.
Cool.
There we go. We got a bet going on right here.
You're welcome.
All right.
So, Coach, you took the knockout TKO as a prop bet?
I'm going to, but I'm going to wait until a little bit later because it's everything was all week moving and the favorites and all this kind of stuff. And I thought about laying the big number for Sean O'Malley. This guy's an absolute star. He's an absolute star. He's not going to be stopped by this guy tonight. He's not. So I'm taking the prop bet. What's that?
Have you been watching?
I watch our preview shows.
But the other preview
I watch our preview shows. I don't watch anybody else's. I watch ours.
Oh, right.
And I'm recording this moment right here, right now. I'm telling you that much right now.
Okay. Oh, I know.
And in about 4.5 hours, we'll have a little talk, you and I.
Wow.
It's all house money, baby.
Okay.
That's right. Bet with house money. It's not his. Philly Godfather, you're on the side of Vera here, right?
Yeah, I'm with Joey, man. Joey's the man, and I'm with him 90% of the time. I'm with him on this fight. Everyone's on O'Malley, and that Titanic might be sinking tonight.
Okay.
Before we go to the main event, let's run over the card for those that have joined who want to take notes at home about what we have.
O'Malley sounds like a golfer's name. That coach is confused. Right? Is that what it is?
Maybe.
All right.
First fight is Kamaka versus Kelly. Sharp money is taking Kamaka 180 minus 180 or better. 77% of the public money is on the under at 2.5. The next fight is a heavyweight fight. Chris Daukaus versus Parker Porter. The Philly Godfather is on Chris Daukaus. 67% of the public money is on the under. Next fight is the first women's fight, strawweight fight. Ashley Yoder. Joey has taken Ashley Yoder. The Philly Godfather is on the other side. Souza, 80% of the public money is on the under. Next fight is a featherweight fight. TJ Brown versus Donnie Chavez. Chavez reportedly has an ankle injury. Philly Godfather likes Chavez. Do not place a bet unless I'm mistaken. 56% of the public money is on Chavez. 78% of the money is on the under. Next fight is a strawweight fight. Felice Herrig against Jandaroba. Sharp money is at minus 240 or better with Jandaroba, the Philly Godfather and coach. Like Jandaroba, 95% of the public money is on the under, as is Joey Delicious. Public money, 71% is on Herrig. Next fight is a lightweight fight. Jim Miller against Pichel from Hell, as I've been corrected by Joey D. Sharp money is betting starting around minus 107 on Pichel. Philly Godfather and Joey like the veteran here and Jim Miller. Joey also likes the under. The next fight is a bantamweight fight. John Dodson against Marib, the big Georgian. Can't pronounce his last name. Sharp money is at minus 240 or better on Marib. Joey, Philly Godfather, and coach have taken Dodson. The Philly Godfather locked the over here despite the high price. Said the price was too high, was the quote. 82% of the public is on the under. Next fight is a featherweight fight. Herbert Burns from Brazil, Daniel Pineda. Public money is on Burns. Sharp money is on Pineda. 55% of public money is on the over. Joey likes Burns, did not bet. Philly Godfather minus 250 did bet. Coach did bet as well. Next fight, Junior Dos Santos versus the big North African from Suriname. Sharp money has gone on Dos Santos, as has Joy. The public is on Rosenstruck. 60% of the money is on the under. Philly Godfather did not touch, neither did Coach, because of Dos Santos having been KO'd a couple times. Next fight is a Sean O'Malley. Coach says he's the second coming of Conor McGregor. Coach is like Gilligan.
He's in trouble.
On an island.
He's in trouble. Second coming of Conor McGregor. He's in trouble.
Coach is on like Gilligan. He's on an island. He's the only one there. Joy is at plus 250. Took a bet. Philly Godfather also bet on Marlon Vera. Coach has said in 4.5 hours he's going to have a talk with Joy. So, and the money is split as far as sharp and public action with Bet Online. So it takes us to the main event: Daniel Cormier versus Stipe Miocic. Miocic is 19-3, 14-2 as far as KOs, TKOs, 1-0 on submissions. Cormier is 10-1 on KOs, TKOs, 5-0 on submissions, 22-2 as overall record, and the over/under is at 2.5. Dave, where do you have the money on this heavyweight main event fight?
Yes, sir. Nothing sharp at Bet Online first of all. Public's on DC. About 56% of the action is on DC, so we'll be rooting for the champ, at least money wise. I'd like to see DC do it personally, but we'll need the champ. And 80% is on over 2.5 rounds, which is right now minus 158.
And Joey, what do you have as far as this heavyweight showdown that a lot of people are saying is going to determine the greatest heavyweight of all time?
Right above it, DC, Daniel Cormier. This is about his legacy, man. I looked at him at the weigh-ins and I said, Jesus, I'm going with, just you saw him on the scale. I mean, he didn't look good on the scale, but he never looks good. I'm on Cormier. Cormier, I think he beat Stipe. I bet against Stipe quite a bit, and he's proved me wrong. I just think that Cormier is just a better fighter, man. And, he came in the same way as I could, X's and O's it. A lot of people said, well, the smart cage will benefit Cormier here. I want to get this out while I'm on here. I had some idle time during the week. So I went through all the events, with the smart cage, since they started back on May 9th in Jacksonville, all the way through August 8th. There was like 100. I just did this by hand. It was 103 fights, I guess, and 53 of them went to decision. So everybody that tells you the smart cage makes a big difference, it's all nonsense. As far as Dubai, 28 decisions out of 51 bouts. Again, what's that? It's 54%. And you would have won if you bet $100 on each one, you probably would have won about $250. If you bet $100 on each one of the decisions or each one of the unders in the smaller cage, you would have lost money. Would have lost probably close to a dime. And that's at $1.10 each way. That probably sounded a little confusing. It was confusing for me. I almost got confused, but that's the way it is.
Philly Godfather, are you taking the wrestler here, or are you taking Stipe?
No, I'm usually with Joey, but I'm taking Stipe. He's got the reach. You know why? Because this is why. After the age of 25, every 5 years, in my opinion, I felt the difference in age from 25 to 30, 35 to 40, 45 to 50, and now I'm 50 years old. So I think that Stipe being 4 or 5 years younger is huge here. He's got the reach advantage. I think he figured out Cormier. I like Stipe.
I got to tell you, I mean, this being a birthday week for me, I had so many people saying, Coach, you literally never looked better. than you look right now, and I would have to agree with that. So when you're talking about age and as you get better with age, I've got to go on the side of Daniel Cormier, because when I look at the first two fights and he knocks him out in the first one, in the second one, let's be honest, he got arrogant, he got cocky, he brought his hands down, he was winning the first two rounds anyway. If he wouldn't have done that, he would have dominated him twice, and we wouldn't even be seeing this fight the third time. If he sticks to the same game plan he did the first two times, he will bulldoze him. He will bully him. And I agree. He looked out of shape. But he posted a video this week. And if you would have saw what he looked like in April when he started training and what he looked like now, he's in incredible shape compared to that. He had a lot of weight to lose. I think he's going to have one of his best dominant performances tonight and regain the heavyweight championship of the world.
So you really, really like him?
I really like him.
Can I get max limits on Stipe, please?
Coach, I've actually seen corpses that look better than you. So, but a happy birthday anyway.
Oh, Jesus.
We've been mushed.
That's it. That's it.
Hey, Dave, before we go, you got any liabilities here that you need someone to cover, someone to win there as far as Bet Online?
Yeah, well, I mean, our biggest liability is going to be DC, so we'll accept some Stipe money, and it's going to be a great fight. It's going to be interesting to see on this one is as Stipe goes to Cormier's body early. That was his key to victory that last fight. The fourth round, he just started hitting that left hook right into Cormier's body. That slowed Cormier down. And if you think back, the John Jones fight, their first fight, Cormier's only two losses, always had three losses, but one got taken off the, for John Jones's PEDs, I guess. But his only two losses, the guys exploited his midsection. So we'll see if Stipe goes to that midsection early, and whether Cormier sticks to some wrestling, man, because he dominated that first round last time they fought, and then he just wanted to slug it out, like Coach says, and got a little cocky. So we'll see if Miocic goes to the body and/or Cormier tries to incorporate his wrestling a little bit more. But I can't wait either way. But House needs Miocic, but I want to see Cormier go out on top. I really do.
And guys, let's be honest. This is what we live for when it comes to the UFC. Minus 110s across the board or close to it, and we just get to watch and enjoy it. These are the fights that we love. I can't wait for this fight tonight.
If
it's going to be a legacy.
If Cormier's in tip-top shape, you're going to see a lot more wrestling out of him. I think last time he wasn't in tip-top shape. If you see him start, standing up and trading blows, well, it's going to be a long night for him.
Yeah.
Real quick before we go, we're almost out of time. I want to stop before the hour so people can get straight to the prelims. Joy, is this the bout to decide the greatest heavyweight of all time?
In the UFC, yes. I think that there's guys out there that have fought in the past that could beat these guys, any given Sunday, any given night. I was looking today, a guy that I really used to like, Igor Vanchenkin. I was going to tweet about it and say who would win it, who'd win, Prime Vanchenkin against Prime Cormier or Prime Miocic. Whoever wins this fight is the greatest heavyweight the UFC has ever seen. As far as, individuals being able to beat these guys, I mean, the name Fedor Emelianenko always comes up. Fedor hasn't had a lot of success recently, but he was pretty unstoppable back in the day. There was some other guys some really good wrestlers. I mean, Mark Coleman was he was an Olympian NCAA champ. So, and Cormier
Kane pre-injury too. I mean, if King stayed healthy, I think he would have been the best ever. But he just couldn't stay healthy.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of guys. I mean, it's all relative. I mean, there's only one Floyd Mayweather. I had to get my Floyd plug in there. There's only one Floyd, baby.
And real quick, Dana White told Brett Okamoto there's no chance if Daniel Cormier wins that he retires after this fight. No chance.
What happens when you throw money at people?
That's exactly right.
It's a huge fight tonight. Philly Godfather, before we go, I hate to put you on the spot, but got anything you want to share with us? A pick of baseball or basketball or a future or something to give a little extra added bonus? I hate to put you on the spot here. I didn't tell you I was going to do that, but something extra?
Be a little taste.
Game 970.
Just a little taste.
975, 976 on your screen. I took the over 9.5 in the Padres game, but it moved. If you can still find 10, you might go over 10, but I see some 10.5s out there. Don't go over 10.5. That's about all that's left. We had Milwaukee today. The White Sox got us in the first game. We lost that one. What else did we bet today? We bet that soccer
swept.
game.
I can't believe they got swept.
Yeah, we bet that soccer game. I like Boston a little bit, but they scared me. I took 1.5 runs on the Red Sox today, but that was a real small. I just nibbled a little bit on there. So if you can find over 10 in the Padres game, go over for a little bit. That's about it.
Somebody just pounded Kamaka. I just saw the screen. Kamaka, right, Dave? You see that? Did you guys just get hit?
Yeah, I didn't see it. My screen closed, man. I got some technical difficulties.
Somebody just bet this Kamaka on post. I see like minus 265. So,
interesting. I wonder who put that in just now.
Last minute at a couple spots. Coach is moving the screen, man. Mark moving.
Well, one of my insiders texted me literally during the show about 10 minutes ago. He said, Kamaka, by decision, book it. So I did.
Tiger, right? Tiger texted him. Said,
I literally just did. I'll show you on live on the screen if you want me to.
I believe Coach. Come on, bro. I never doubt you.
You're welcome.
I never get to move the lines. Godfather moves the lines. You move the lines.
You're welcome.
I never get to move lines.
You're welcome,
man.
We have 245.
That's right.
Well, there you have it, guys. That is our show for tonight in honor of the birthday week of Jonathan Coachman, the supermodel Dave Mason, fighting out of Philadelphia, the Philly Godfather, and Mr. Joey Odessa. We are going to fire tonight. Good luck tonight. Enjoy the fights. Have a great evening.